all of us as moms, and women in general, I think that we like to take everything on and do it all ourselves, but it's okay to ask for help. It is okay, and we really need the help.
Are you lacking in the self-care department? Or maybe you just want to step up your game? Well, then you need to get a hold of the weekly self-care planning guide, because this will help you to plan out and prioritize self-care, because self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. You can get yours by going to holisticmamaspeaks.com/self-care. That's holisticmamaspeaks.com/self-care. Oh, and did I mention the self-care planning guide is absolutely free? That's $0. So be sure to get yours at holisticmamaspeaks.com/self-care.
Hello and welcome back to Holistic Mama Speaks, the podcast, season 2. I am your host, Carrie Marie Vaughn, and I'm just so excited to continue our journey together towards holistic living, wellness, and abundance. Wow. In season 2, we are just going to be diving deeper into a variety of different topics related to natural health, mindful living, wealth and abundance, and even conscious parenting. I'm just so excited. And I will be featuring expert guests who will share their knowledge and experience with us. So many amazing people, some returning guests from season 1 and some new guests. I will also be answering listener questions and addressing some common concerns related to holistic living. And you can actually submit your questions by going to holisticmamaspeaks.com/ask. ASK. My goal is to provide you with practical tips and inspiration that you can incorporate into your own life. Whether you are a seasoned holistic living enthusiast like some people, or if you are just starting out on this journey, there is just something for everyone along the way. So I'm just happy to have you here in the season 2 of Holistic Mama Speaks. And just as a side note, by listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this as medical advice or to treat a medical condition. You can visit holisticmamaspeaks.com to find the full disclaimer. So sit back, relax, and let's explore a world of holistic living and abundance together. Are you a mom who's struggling to balance taking care of loved ones while also taking care of yourself? It's a very common challenge, but there is actually a simple solution: daily affirmations. In Mom Mantras, the daily affirmation guide for mothers of all kinds, you'll find powerful affirmations and mantras that will help you improve your health, happiness, and mindset. Whether you are a biological mom, an adoptive mom, a stepmom, a pet mom, a motherly figure, this book is for you. Read these mantras in the morning, before bed, really anytime throughout the day to uplift your spirits and to stay focused on what matters most. Visit mommantras.com to get your own copy and to start living a more intentional, purposeful life. Hello and welcome back to Holistic Mama Speaks. I am your host, Carrie Marie Vaughn, and today I am so blessed to be joined by 2 amazing guests. I have Jen and I have Glenna, and we're going to be talking today about something that is very, very important to all of us mamas, that is balancing act, family meals, health, and happiness. So I'm so excited to have you ladies join me today, and I'm going to allow you each to introduce yourselves and let the listeners know a little bit about you and what it is that you're doing to help people, and then we'll dive in. So Jen, I'm going to start with you.
Hi, I am Jen Hoyle. I'm a mother of 9, so this is a great topic for me. I'm actually out here at a horse show, and I love helping other moms with their depression and overwhelm and all those things using holistic and natural products and things that you can do from home.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jen, all the way from the horse show. Exciting. And Glenna, I will go ahead and turn it over to you.
Hi, my name is Glenna James. I'm a holistic health practitioner, a fertility and pregnancy coach, and a mom of 2, and a mom of a furry pet as well. So I like to help women with their fertility struggles when they are about to become a mom, even after when they already are a mom, because health is a round issue. So that's me.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy to have you here and all of those such important things. And, I feel like all of us as moms, and women in general, I think that we like to take everything on and do it all ourselves, but it's okay to ask for help. It is okay. And we really need the help to get through everything. So perfect topic for us to be talking about is balancing everything today. So, and I know that, being a mom, whether it's of 2 or whether it's of 9 or anywhere in between or above and below, or if we're looking to be a parent, if we're looking to become a parent, and we're like, we don't know what we're getting into, balancing things is such a great thing to think about, because we all have a lot of things going on. In addition to just being a parent, we have many other things that are happening in our lives. And so being able to talk about different tips that have worked for us, that have worked for the people that we help and serve, or that we've just heard that are helpful in balancing out all of those different aspects in our lives as being a mom. So I'd love to just open up the conversation with you ladies and let us start chatting about this. What are some things that you personally do to help balance things, and then some of the things maybe that you've helped other people with the balance in their own lives?
Well, for me, if that's all right, if I go first, for me, with such a large family with 9 kids, 7 still live at home, we've done 2 things. We've created a chore chart that switches every week, and then we've created a meal chart where they have a buddy and they've teamed up and they make dinner. So that covers 3 nights. Because there's 7, so one always fills in, but that's covered 3 nights out of the week, which really helps me. It also teaches them skills they'll need as adults, right? And then it helps them to work with a sibling. And then, and it's been great. Carrie Marie, you were actually the one that gave us the idea for the meals. So that it is like the last few months, it just helps to take it off of me. And then as far as the chores, I like to keep it really nice and tidy and all of that. So that helps as well. And I hope to be an inspiration to people because I tell everybody about it. So hopefully it's helping them.
That's awesome. Very cool.
I'll go next. I think having my mother help. I think having her be the balancing person in this. We share back and forth for that. So I don't think I would be where I'm at without my mother. I have a very supportive husband, so I think I get both my kids and then I get that time to refresh. And I know that's not traditional in our society to have that, but I think it's needed. My mother did that with my grandmother, back and forth, and it takes a village to raise kids. So I think we need more support. We need that grandmother or grandfather around more. So I would say if you are a person that has your mother or father around, even if it's just the weekend, ask them to take the kids, just so that you can spend time with your spouse and spend time with yourself. And I think we negate that. And I think in society, if we don't have our kids 24/7, we're not a mother. We don't feel about that. So I think we need to, my tip on that is get out of your head. Get out of your head because you're stressing yourself. And I've had a lot of friends and clients I've had in the past that are overwhelmed because of their kids, even if they're older. And it's like, when was the last time you had a date night? And they're like, never since my kids were born. I'm like, unless I needed it. I'm like, you need to. So I think it's that we need support.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with both of you ladies. I know that, my kids are a bit older now. My youngest is now 17 and my older 2 have already moved out. But even from the time that they were little, I very much asked for help. I was very grateful to live near my mom. And so she could come and help fill in when I needed a sitter or when we wanted to do a date night. And I love that you brought that up, because having a date night or going on a weekend getaway or something like that isn't making you less of a parent. It's growing you and making you stronger in your relationship, and even taking time for yourself. I'm a huge proponent of self-care. And so if you're able to take those little bits of time away from your family, away from the responsibilities of running a household, of your work and everything, to take care of yourself, even if it's just for 15 minutes in the morning before everyone wakes up, to sit in prayer and meditation and journal writing and doing yoga, whatever it is, maybe going for for a walk, whatever that is, for that little bit of time when you can just be by yourself. Being by yourself is big. And a lot of people don't allow themselves to be by themselves. And I know for me personally, I've never lived alone. Never once in my life did I live alone, but I still make sure to carve out that time for myself every single day. I didn't used to. I wish that somebody had taught me about self-care and the importance of delegating things to other people, because I thought I had to do it all. I thought I had to work. I thought I had to make all of the meals. I thought I had to clean the house, bring the kids around to their games and practices and clubs, and volunteer for all of those clubs, by the way, and teach Sunday school. I thought I had to do it all. And then when I finally realized that I was in bad shape, I was stressed to the max, overwhelmed, in bad health, I was like, oh, I guess I need to start taking care of myself. So, take it from me who's been through it. You don't want to get to that point. You want to start taking care of yourself now, and growing your relationship with yourself and with your spouse, if you have a spouse, to be able to then enjoy that, because you're still going to be a human. You're still going to be married, hopefully, or in a relationship, or even with your friends after your kids have grown up and moved out of the house. And so you want to have that identity and still be able to love yourself, for sure. Yeah. And having people, your kids take on chores, it's teaching them really good skills that they need to have when they move out. I know I was very thankful that I taught my kids how to cook in the kitchen, how to clean. They were doing their own laundry from the time that they could carry the laundry basket up and down the stairs, because it's like they need to learn how to do that, because I'm not going to be there to cook for them and to do their laundry and their chores and everything at their own homes. So it was definitely, I'm grateful for that. My daughter went to college with some kids that had been taking care of their whole lives, and they had no idea what they were doing.
Oh my God. That's a conversation I constantly have around the dinner table with a lot of people. I was raised that, at 5 to 6 years old, I was making coffee for my mom. So it's like when I'm around my kids and I have them, I like, you will do this. And my mom's like, when she has them, she's like, no. I'm like, you made me do this. So, and to see how that is important. And I even say the school they have was like, you will take a culinary class, you will learn how to cook. These are life skills you're talking about that I think we need to instill on our kids, because we are in a time where they are going to need to do that. They're not going to be able to give it off to someone else. And knowing how to cook your own food and knowing how to do your own laundry is essential. These are things that parents have taught their kids for millennia. I don't understand where that's going wrong. And I say we need to keep the chores. We need to keep that no matter what it is. And I like what you just said about the yoga. I carve out time for my yoga. I get up a little bit early to cook stuff. I'm not ashamed. Sometimes I'll cook a big pot of spaghetti like my grandma did and be like, that's what you're eating for 2 days, because I'm too busy, But even food, I keep a very good, we can get into that about food and how to do all that here soon.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I agree. Having some sort of an idea of what you're going to make for your food, or, at least planning it out. Maybe it's having a little like menu thing at your house, or having like a list of ideas, and the kids can like vote for what their meal is. But also when they're old enough to cook, have them cook some of the meals, or have them prep their own lunch. I stopped making my kids lunch for school when they were old enough to start making their own lunch, because first of all, I wasn't making stuff that I knew was going to get wasted because they wouldn't eat it. But second of all, it gives them that responsibility. If you want to have a filling and healthy lunch, you need to make it.
I agree with all of that. First, as you were talking, I was thinking of that saying, it takes a village, and Glenna has, with her mom helps her so much. And me, my other kids help so much. And it's, it does take that village. And like Glenna was saying, we need to teach our kids all of these things, because I feel like in this day and age, especially with technology, our kids don't know as much as we did growing up. So I think it's important to take this time to teach them these things, to help them even set up schedules for meals or chores or that kind of thing, to help them with that organization is so important. And then with self-care, I'm a big proponent, because I can tell with myself and my body, like when I'm not taking care of myself, or even couple care with my husband, we're not getting our date nights. it takes a toll. So all of that is so important. And I guess I'd say balance, right? Balance is just so, so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it helps with your overall happiness level too. If you have, if you feel good about what you're doing, if you've been taking care of yourself, if you are carving out time for self-care and for date nights and this and that, and for your own health, then you're going to feel that. You're going to feel happier. But also when you have the kids that are helping out around the house and cooking meals and stuff, and it's one less thing for you to do, woo! That definitely makes you happy, right? It's like when you have one less thing on your plate than originally you had, it's like so freeing, and it makes your happiness levels go through the roof. But also making sure that you are carving out time to do things that bring you joy, because that's something that a lot of moms forget. It's that one piece. It's like, okay, yeah, they might take time for a little bit of self-care here and there, but what are the things that they're doing that really fully bring them joy? Like maybe it is, for me, it was horseback riding. I actually had my business coach was the one who encouraged me to start going horseback riding. And it was the best suggestion because it's something that brings me joy to be around the horses, to be riding the horses. I don't need to be in a show. I don't need to be an expert at horseback riding. I just want to be around them. And that was for me, but it's different for everybody. There are different things, it might just bring you joy to sit in a bathtub and drink a glass of champagne with some nice music on. If that brings you joy, carve out time to do it. When there won't be kids banging on the bathroom door. Hey, Ma, when are you coming to make dinner? Tell your mom or your husband or whatever, take the kids somewhere. I'm going to just relax.
I like that you mentioned horses. Personally, this might seem counterintuitive, but my favorite thing to do is read and to get in some type of educational program, even if it's just for me to learn and everything, because I think my happy place, and this is going to be, like I said, my happy place is my business. I have made my business part of my happy place so that when I sit in front of my computer or I get on social, I know that I'm not coming at this stressed. It's not about money. I'm looking at this in a different setting and growing that community. And I love fiction books. So reading fiction books and science fiction books and Lord of the Rings, rereading that again, that makes me happy. And I like what you're saying about finding that time to do those things. We don't.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. I absolutely love helping others. And so, I've made that into my business that I love. And so spending time on my business is also a form of joy. And I also love dancing and being outside. Just being outside in nature is a huge thing for me. Love, love, love it. So sometimes I'll even take my computer and I'll sit and work outside because then I'm like so much happier because I'm surrounded by nature and there's cute little critters here and there.
That's for me too, even at the horse show.
Mm-hmm. Same here. I love outside.
The journaling, it just helps you, to get your thoughts down. And then when you can look back on it and see like the growth and things that you struggled with that might not be, anything you struggle with, it's just nice to be able to see here I was here and then here I am now. And especially when it comes to our faith, like my journey with God, it's like it just keeps improving and getting stronger. And it's beautiful to look back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so beautiful. And it really does help just bring a balance to things when we're able to carve out that little time for ourselves and for self-care and for journaling and yoga, whatever that might be. Everybody's different and as far as what helps them. But it really does help balance your mood, your energy levels and everything so that then as things come throughout the day, or as maybe kids are misbehaving or you need to run somewhere that you weren't expecting, it's not as big a deal and you can handle it a little bit better because you've already made sure that you are carving out time for the things that you need to do to make you feel good. So what are some of your thoughts on just taking care of like meals in general? Do you do any kind of food prep ahead of time? I know, Glenna, you mentioned cooking a big pot of spaghetti that's going to last for multiple days, but are there other kind of meal preps that you think are helpful in, in just kind of having a family, having kids that are in and out, maybe grabbing stuff from the fridge, making sure that there are healthy options available, that type of thing? What are some of the things that you do on a regular basis?
Me personally, I think with me, I used to go shopping once a month, and I realized, over time that doesn't work. So going shopping twice a week, especially with food prices, you don't waste a lot of food. And another thing is, if you really like something, you and your kids really like something, like I know my daughter loves ramen, you know, and she loves boiled eggs with that. So, if you have to just pick up an already boiled pack of eggs, do that, or just on the weekends. Batch cooking is a big thing. There are certain things you can batch cook on the weekends to have, so you don't have to worry about meals. My favorite thing, and it's been my favorite thing, and I think my mom turned me onto it, and a couple of friends of mine, the Instapot. I can just put some roasted chicken in there that's already, not even thawed yet, put some other stuff in and be done with it. And it healthy meals, all I always worry about with my clients is how much processed food they're eating. So it's like you have to have that balancing act. Sometimes you're going to eat the processed food, but as long as it's healthy. So it's batch cooking, I would say, cooking a big pot or something like you said with the spaghetti that I said, and don't be afraid to eat leftovers. That's another thing people don't like, eat leftovers.
Yes, because you can repurpose leftovers. A lot of the time, what we will do is we will cook a lot of chicken or a lot of ground beef, and we'll have it in one way for one meal, and then we will use it other ways. So, for instance, maybe we'll have just grilled chicken with green beans and mashed potatoes or something like that. And then the next day we can take that grilled chicken, slice it up and put it on a big grilled chicken salad or something. Or you could cut it up and put it into other things. And, one of the things that we always like to make when we have parties or get-togethers or even to bring is chicken wing dip. And so if we have grilled chicken, that's so much better than canned chicken. So you just like chop up the grilled chicken. So we have a lot of chicken at our house, and salmon is a big thing. We love cooking salmon. It's just, a little different, it's not like having the same thing all the time. We do like to have it switched up. But I usually always try to think ahead of the meals and take things out of the freezer. I don't do a whole lot of batch cooking and having food like super prepped, except for the meat part, because it's a lot easier to do that. For other things, I don't do it quite as much. I know other people who do, and they love doing the batch meal prepping, where they'll make a bunch of stuff and then prep lunches for the week and everything, and in these little cute, separated containers. I personally don't do that, but for people who do love to do that, awesome. I work from home, so I'm a little bit more flexible as far as what I eat. So I don't need to batch prepare anything for myself for lunchtime.
That's kind of how I am too. I don't like doing the batch, but I will do a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. I actually get two because there's so many of us, and then we'll eat on it with the veggies and all of that and a salad. And then the next night I take all the leftover chicken and make homemade chicken pot pie, which is super simple. And my son loves it. It's like his favorite thing, which reminds me I need to do it soon. But that's good. And then, like Glenna said, the Instapot is my best friend to make soups, and especially on those cold days and chilly. And then we always have I hope you can hear me over that speaker. So we always have our go-tos, like the spaghetti, Taco Tuesday. That's always a good one, right? Homemade pizzas. So we're really trying to get away from all of that processed fast food. For one thing, it's outrageously expensive nowadays. It's crazy. It's more than if you go to a restaurant in some cases. But just to help them have healthier bodies, and then learn how to cook, right? And not have everything done for them.
Yeah, agreed. Avoiding processed and fast food is a big thing, because it contains so many additives that are affecting so many other parts of our bodies. And they've done all of these studies about children or even adults, especially that have things like ADHD or whatever, that if they cut out every single processed food, all of a sudden they don't experience those things anymore. and other things like that. There's been like non-auditory children who they've cut out all kinds of processed foods and sugars and things like that, and all of a sudden they'll start speaking. So there's definitely things that are being added into those processed foods that are not good, even for the brain, on the brain level. And so I agree, as much as you can do whole foods and non-processed foods, the better. I get it. Sometimes you can't fully avoid it. And and sometimes it's like you're on the go and you're going from a game to a this and to that, and there's a zillion things and you forgot to pack food. But it's like, if you try to find the healthiest option that's nearby, that's quick and easy to grab, even like tortilla chips and salsa, might not be the best, but it's maybe a better option than grabbing something that's super processed and has the big long list of all of these like chemical ingredients. And so it's just kind of weighing those things, checking labels. I know it's annoying, but but then once you learn what's in things, then you know your go-tos to grab. It's just kind of learning that at first, learning the things to avoid, learning the things that your family will eat that's on the healthier side of things. And so that way from then on, it'll be a little bit easier. It's the learning curve that takes a little bit of time, but it definitely.
But if we teach our kids early on to do that, like my daughter will do that. She's like, why are you looking at that? Because of this. And because I have issues with gluten, and so does my son, I will pick up wheat bread for other people and she'll get on me. She goes, Mom, you can't have that. I'm like, it's not for me. Because she's learned that to be an advocate for people that have issues. Mm-hmm. So I think teaching our kids young to read labels is a fundamental skill that we need to teach.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And just, like we were saying before of, when we're having our kids help us in the kitchen, they're learning to cook, but it's also they're seeing us do the things like reading the labels. They're seeing us take time for ourselves, for self-care. They're seeing us take time for fitness, for date nights. And then, so they will model that. Even if they don't really, even if it never actually comes up in discussion necessarily, maybe you've never had a discussion about the labels, but they see you reading the labels, they'll just start doing that, because just like they learned how to talk by listening to us. So the actions that we're taking, they're going to learn to do that on their own. So when they get on their own, they're going to automatically be cooking healthier meals, reading the labels, taking time for self-care and fitness, and making sure that they are doing the things that bring them joy and happiness. And so I just love that we can be role models for our children, but also for other people who are watching us. There's other moms who we're helping. There's other moms who are watching us, whether it be through social media or people in our community or churches and things like that. They are watching us and paying attention to what we're doing. And they might think of us as role models, even though they might be the same age as us or older. They might be like, oh, wow, they always seem so healthy, happy, they're doing this and that. And, oh yeah, I noticed that they're going out on date nights here and there. I don't remember the last time I took a date night. And so then they'll start looking to you like, maybe I need to take some pointers. And so just, I think no matter what, as if we're aware of how we're showing up, it's not only going to be helpful for us, because we can be aware like, oh, when was the last time I really took time for self-care? Or when was the last time we went out on a date night? We need to schedule that. But also we're setting examples for those who are looking at us. And, we're the role models for other people. So it's just so important, this role that we're playing in our own lives, our own happiness, but also in the lives of our family and those who we help and serve. So I know that Jen had to hop off for a little bit because she is at the horse show, but Glenna, do you have any other little tidbits or tips that's something that has been helpful to you and or the moms that you work with when you are helping other people as far as just balancing everything? What are some other things that have been helpful?
Give yourself grace. One, give yourself grace. Two, whatever religious practice you have, give time to it. And I think 3 would be take stock and have a to-do list. Really have it, even if it's on your phone. A physical to-do list actually is helpful. You can even give your kids some of those. So I think those things, and I would say a simple one that I tell everybody is to breathe. Learn how to deep breathe because of the nervous system and what that does. Even if you're just sitting at your desk, to deep breathe, it helps your immune system.
Yes. I love all of those. All of those are amazing. I 100% agree. I've got my little to-do list right here. I write them out every day. And yes, the deep breathing, so important. Like
those are amazing.
Those lungs. So Jen, what about you? Is there any kind of little tidbits or
for me, like Glenna said, give yourself grace because no one is perfect. We're all on a journey and it's all different from each other. So definitely do that. The list is a great idea. And then the breathing, I've been doing the Stacey Hall's breathing, and it's breathe in for 4, and then hold for 7, and then breathe out for 8. So it's called 4-7-8. So breathe in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. And it really helps to calm my nerves. It really helps me to take a second to breathe and to just to be able to chill out as a mom of 9.
Yeah, or for me, a mom of 3 and a cat mom. I've got 3 cats.
I'm in all of Jen. She's doing all that with 9 kids, and I'm like, what?
I know. It's amazing what you just make happen because you have to. But I love it, Jen, that you are taking the time for your self-care and for you and your husband to take time, the 2 of you, even while parenting 9 kids. So that's awesome.
Thank you. It helps. It really helps us stay on the same page and stay in love and all that.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. And I also think that, as you're both mentioning, the deep breathing is so important. And for me, I get a little bit more out of it if I can step away for a little bit and close my eyes while I do the deep breathing, but you can still do it even when you're just like driving in the car. Of course, keep your eyes open in that case. Or if you are in a crowded space, if you're kind of feeling yourself getting overwhelmed with the craziness that's happening around, you can still do deep breathing. It's going to help calm yourself so much. And so I highly recommend that. And because you really need to fully fill your lungs with fresh oxygen and then let everything fully out. And what I like to do to add in this, and this is maybe just my thing because I'm obsessed with affirmations. Affirmations have been huge for me, starting my day off with affirmations, even like having little reminders of affirmations pop up on my phone throughout the day. But also if you're doing affirmations while you're doing the deep breathing is so cool. And it seems to help even more like set in those affirmations to really just like, okay, I'm breathing in peace and I'm breathing out, stress or overwhelm or whatever it is, like you're getting it out of you. And so if you're kind of visualizing that as you're doing your deep breathing, wow, it makes it even more powerful because you're kind of bringing that thought aspect into it of like, ooh, I'm breathing in peace and calm or whatever it is that you're trying to breathe into you at that moment because you're kind of, feeling stressed or whatever that is. And then you're breathing out that stress. You're getting it out of there. That's so helpful.
I agree with that. I do that myself sometimes too, especially with the yoga. That really is a big thing to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you didn't already know, I have a book called Mom Mantras, the daily affirmation guide for mothers of all kinds. And I read it myself all the time because it's, those were my mantras that I use for myself, my affirmations that I've used for myself. So I just put them into book form so that everybody can utilize them. And so, I've heard from some moms that will read it with their kids, which is so cool because then you're really encouraging your kids to say affirmations as well. Some read it right before bed. So then it's like that, you're kind of living into whatever that affirmation is as you're falling asleep. I feel like you're probably going to get a better night's sleep, but also then when you get up in the morning, you're like, yeah, whatever that is, like, I feel powerful or I feel strong, whatever that is, so yeah.
Your mantra book has been a changer for me, big time, Carrie Marie. I love it. And then the other thing that you made me think of was somebody was telling me, I can't remember where I saw this, but I've been practicing it. Is like when you feel that anxiety and overwhelm, start thinking about all the things you're grateful for, all your gratitude, my kids and my spouse and my animals, and that I have dinner on the table. Just think of all the gratitudes. And it's hard to have that anxiety and overwhelm when you're feeling so much gratitude.
Yes. I love that. Having a gratitude journal is awesome, or even just writing down a few things to start your day off with a sense of gratitude of, what are some things that I'm grateful for? And some things, it's a really fun thing to do, but every once in a while, if you literally sit down and just as fast as you can, see like how much time that it actually spends or that you spend doing this, but write down 100 things that you're grateful for. 100 things. And at first you're just like, whoa, especially if you don't practice gratitude very often, it's going to seem a little bit daunting. Like, wow, 100 things. I don't even think I can think of it. But then as you get thinking about it. It's just so fun. And you literally feel yourself like lightening up and getting happy and excited as you're listing all these things, because there's so much. I mean, so much that we can be grateful for. Not only the people, but the opportunities, the places, the things that we have, our pets, our cup of coffee in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, we can be grateful for so much stuff. Our water that keeps us hydrated throughout the day. And so I highly encourage that. I love that you mentioned gratitude, because it does kind of help put things into perspective and to help us to balance our life when we are really grateful for all of the amazing things that we do have. We are so very blessed. Yes. Well, awesome.
We absolutely are.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me today. This has been such a pleasure. I love talking about this stuff, and it's been such an amazing time chatting with you too. So thank you so much for joining. And
thank you. And it was great getting to chat with Glenna. Thank you.
Yes. So nice to join us, Glenna. Thank you. And I wish you all a very amazing rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening. It has been a pleasure being with you today. I hope that you enjoyed this and got some value out of it. If you did, be sure to rate and review on wherever you're listening or watching. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.